Welcome back into the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. Before we dive into the latest Jerry Jones comments, they're going all in. Maybe. We have you covered with all the latest Cowboys news and rumors and updates multiple times per day. Throughout the offseason, you're pretty much going to get 2 videos a day. Big time growth here. If you haven't already, hit that sub button right now. As I'm sure many of you saw on social media, Jerry Jones says the Cowboys are going all in for 2024. But are they? A, is that really what Jerry Jones said? And B, would they go all in by the actual standards of going all in? Or do they think they've gone all in recent years? Let's break down the full quotes from Jerry Jones and not the, 2-sentence clip that fits on Twitter. And then we'll break down our best efforts at translating them. This is peak Jerry gibberish, man. He says, quote, I would anticipate, with looking ahead at our key contracts that we would like to address, we will be all in. I would anticipate we will be all in at the end of this year. So when you say, is there any thought, we will push the hell out of it. It will be going all in on different people than you've done in the past. We will be going all in. We have seen some of the things out of some of the players that we want to be all in on. Yes, I would say that you will see us this coming year not build it for the future. It's the best way I've ever said, and that ought to answer a lot of questions. First off, no, it doesn't. The clipped quote is, we anticipate being all in. That's the one that went viral. But when you get to the full quote, doesn't that sound like you're just going to be all in on re-signing your own guys? I mean, that's the way I view it. All those quotes of, we're going to be in on different people, meaning and this time it's going to be CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons, etc., as opposed to, Tank Lawrence and Zach Martin or Tyron Smith or whatever. It didn't actually answer any questions. Being all in actually means doing something in free agency. It does not mean we're going to invest in our own guys. That's just we like our guys. They're just different guys this time. That's not what being all in means. So I have many doubts, spam X or I guess end doubt, about the Cowboys actually being all in. I would love to be wrong. Make no mistake about it. But that is not how I actually interpret that quote from Jerry Jones. What do you think? Will the Cowboys be all in? Y for yes, N for no. It is the pinned comment on this video. If the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. I will believe it when I see it. I have to see this organization actually spend in free agency, actually do the things, do all 3 avenues, draft, trades, and free agency to make this roster better before I buy into they'll be all in. That's doing the same old thing over and over again. Now, Jerry also had some comments on free agency, etc. I know how to disrupt, and I understand disruption. I think the nature of what we do with our roster decisions, the fact that we're here looking for help for this coming year at the Senior Bowl, and the fact that we have free agency opportunities, the fact that we've got substantive decisions to make here on our roster as it pertains to the salary cap, that's enough disruption for me. If we get through all of those decisions, there will be a lot of disruption, specifically on free agency. It would be disruptive to not do a free agent as far as what we did last year. I think you could anticipate us having some influence here and being involved in some free agents, subject to the right free agent we can get under the right contract. This is the same old shit from this organization. That is, we like our guys at the right price, due diligence. It's the same thing. We're going to build through the drafts. We're going to pay our guys. If they actually spend in free agency, awesome. Great. That sounds incredible. But I am reading these quotes as we're going to go about our business. We like our guys. We're going to pay our players. We're going to build through the draft. We might sign the right free agent at the right cost. Okay, you're not going to get good free agents then. The Cowboys have not signed an outside player, outside of this current team, free agent, and given them More than $9 million a year since they did Brandon Carr's deal a decade ago. I have not fact-checked this. I'm 99% sure it's true. They're the only team to operate in that fashion. No one's done it. They've paid their own guys. They'll make the occasional trade. They'll pay their draft picks. And if you ignore the Cedric Thornton deal, which was $9 million, and the Gerald McCoy deal, which only got $3 million because injuries voided the $9 million he got, it's less than $5 million in that time frame. No other franchise operates this way. None. None of the good franchises, not even the Patriots do that stuff back when they were winning all those Super Bowls. They were still adding players, etc. This is not how to operate a franchise. It's not going to work. It's doing the same thing and expecting different results. And I would love if they actually changed something. More on Jerry Jones and his comments, plus Dan Quinn to come here. But today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. Unlike the Cowboys organization, I actually love Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy made easy. You just pick 2 to 6 player stat projections, more than less than on those player stats. And if you made good picks, you watch the money come in. You can mix and match NFL, NBA until the Super Bowl's over. There's also esports available. And I love the flex play. The flex play, you can get one wrong and still win your Prize Picks selection. You can go 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5. I'm actually pretty good at that. Not great at getting them all right. I do have one Super Bowl Prize Pick slate that I'm going to count as the power play move. It's the freebie from Prize Picks, basically. A half passing yards for Patrick Mahomes. And I'll go with my 2 favorite Prize Picks projections for the Super Bowl. Christian McCaffrey more than 8.5 yards on the ground, and Travis Kelce more than 7 catches. Even though I've missed some Prize Picks in this postseason run, I am still coming out on top because I got a first deposit match up to $100. I did the full 100 at prizepicks.com/CLNS by using code CLNS. That link and, of course, the code will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS. Now, Jerry also made some, I think, attempted positive comments towards Dak Prescott, put into Mike McCarthy too, that I don't think are actually all that positive to him in the way that maybe he meant it to be. I don't know. It's Jerry. It's some of these quotes, they read as Chat GPT, but Jerry. It's just kind of weird verbiage here. Let's break them down. He said areas of improvement. I think look at all 3 phases and see that we've got room for improvement. The thing that I would emphasize more than anything is that Dak has room for improvement. And not just the scheme around him, but Dak can improve. That's a big plus when you've been playing the game for 7 years and by assessment, have some room to get better in. I expect him to do it and the next year and the next year. Okay? Dak has done nothing to change my mind about any promise for the future. I think I've said in the deal that we will go as far as Dak takes us in the playoffs. Remember that. We will go as far as Dak takes us. And that is how far we went. So my point is, that doesn't change a thing. We'll go as far as Dak takes us. This is such a bad mindset. I don't think Jerry or maybe Jimmy Johnson ever would have said about Troy Aikman. This is a team sport. And make no mistake, the quarterback is the most important thing. But Dak is not Patrick Mahomes. He is not Josh Allen. We saw how far Josh Allen went carrying his offense. The defense failed him. Who here thinks that the Dallas Cowboys can win a playoff game scoring 17 points? I have zero faith in this team's ability to do that. To go after the first couple of drives scoreless in the second half. The Chiefs just did that. And Dak is not Mahomes. But you don't have the supporting infrastructure around a team to do with the greatest quarterback in the NFL, let alone a guy that's more top 10, top 8, top 5, whatever you want to rank him in. So if this is your mindset, that, Dak's going to carry us by himself, this is not the way to go about it. This is not how other teams operate. They have a top 10 quarterback. But if they think the quarterback is going to fix everything, then what are we doing? This isn't going to work the way they seemingly think it's going to. Or are they trying to back Dak? It doesn't make sense to me. None of this makes sense to me. It's not going to work that way. If you're going to be all in, you have to build a roster that actually is a top 4, top 5, whatever roster. I'm not sure that they are. Or at least maybe top 3, top 2, because you don't have a top 10 head coach, by the way. So what is your trust level right now in the Dallas Cowboys? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. I'm going to vote low, but this is your chance to sound off in the comments section. Now, Dan Quinn updates here. Some fairly noteworthy developments here. Ben Johnson staying with the Detroit Lions, a move that I believe boosts Quinn's chances of being a head coach. And by the way, Bobby Slowick has re-upped with the Houston Texans, which I would interpret as him not leaving Houston. So now there's 2 jobs left, Seattle and Washington, and the hot young offensive minds are apparently off the board. And that helps Dan Quinn. Ben Johnson, and we'll assume Slowick as well here, that helps Quinn. Now, it is not a guarantee he ends up getting a head coaching job, but from where we were, this time yesterday, I think the odds have jumped a decent amount that Quinn ends up a head coach somewhere. So where does Quinn end up when the coaching carousel stops spinning and all the seats are filled? DAL for he's back with the Dallas Cowboys is DC. SEA for Seattle, he's their head coach. Or WAS for he is the Commanders' head coach. The Commanders' candidates are thin all of a sudden. They interviewed Eric Bieniemy. Never got a second one. I think he's out. It leaves Dan Quinn. They interviewed Aaron Glenn today. Plus, Dan Quinn actually flew back from Washington today, by the way. Also have interviewed Anthony Weaver and Mike McDonald. Now, Mike McDonald is a very popular name right now for these 2 jobs in both Washington and Seattle. But he could only fill one of those spots. Seattle's other guys, Daniel Quinn, Ajiro Evero, Patrick Graham, and Mike Kafka. Of those candidates, Quinn doesn't look that bad, actually. Now, maybe, a Mike Vrabel or a Bill Belichick re-enters the conversation, but the early buzz was that those teams weren't all that interested in those guys. Maybe Vrabel in Seattle, but that's the second interview list there. It's interesting. I think we'll get word today, maybe later tonight, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe at the latest. These moves have to be done at some point in the near future. I don't know how long it takes those teams to wrap it up. Quinn's still in the running. We'll know more soon, so make sure you are subscribed.